Oh, she's not bad. Yo, 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 yo. What up, what up, what up? Shout out to everybody. It's been a while. We ain't been live in a minute. So let's get it. You already know who it is. Hope everybody good and well and shit. 11 o'clock Eastern time. You know what I'm saying? New news in the heavyweight world. Hope everybody caught the video and all that. So I figured I'd pop in and talk to y'all about it and all that. You know what I mean? Dylan White got exposed finally. What you mean Dylan White got exposed? What you mean he got exposed? I'm lost. Something new happened I don't know about? How Dylan White get exposed? Yeah, he is. Lesson salute. Osan fanboy salute. Yeah, he been, but he been sparring with Jared Big Baby for a while. He actually helped him get ready for Wilder Fury 3 as well. So yeah, Jared Big Baby, man, he a problem, man. That's the only, for real, Jared Big Baby, the only future I'm a person that, you know what I'm saying, got any faith in when it comes to heavyweight boxing and in the near distant future. You know what I mean? I fuck with Big Baby. He's definitely a killer. His feet, you know what I'm saying? He's got all of the movements, you know what I'm saying, rolls over very well, fires off good counter punches, you know what I'm saying? Very strong right and left hand. He switch hit on you. Boy, a beast, man. He bad. Gotti line, what's popping with you, bro? How you feeling? Lisa, what's up with the queen? How you feeling, sweetheart? Hope things well. You know what I mean? Appreciate all of the well wishes and stuff you sent me and everything, you know. Much definitely appreciate it. Yeah, man. So it looks like, you know, from there after, you know what I mean, this whole record breaking purse bid and everything, you know, is supposed to go down. So I'm hoping everything will go as according to plan. Man, I'm doing great, man. I can't complain, man. Said, don't ask me, says White is still in arbitration and his legal team have probably told him to stay quiet. People are saying he's scared and going to pull out because he isn't trash talking for attention like Pong. And like, I'm so sick of it, bro. And that's probably like one of the reasons I got gassed out and, you know, made the video I made, because it's just like, yo, how many times you gonna get emotional? Like, bro, nobody has time to keep being like invested in the people who are just literally just talking shit. Like, I'm so sick of people thinking that, you know, based on a person's, you know, what you feel as though a person's, you know what I'm saying, tendencies, like, you know, characteristics, that just because Dillian White isn't talking shit, that means that this individual is scared. Like, bro, this man has been talking for 4 fucking years. Like, enough talking. Like, who cares? If you've been waiting 4 years for a particular outcome, the chance of becoming a heavyweight champion of the world, when it has been long overdue, why are you going to consistently keep talking? You're already at this point. Supposedly the date is supposed to be April 23rd. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But I do believe, as stated in the video, that the date is supposed to be April 23rd. So what more does this dude have to say? April 23rd is what? It is literally February 1st today. That shit, February, March, April. You got what? 2 months. It's time to focus up and get ready. Ain't no talking. We supposed to be in the gym working. Leave all the talking to the chat. See, that's the problem with boxing now, and a lot of boxing fans. Y'all get so connected with what people saying. Like, do y'all have like degree psychology that I just don't know about? Maybe y'all can help, you know what I'm saying, help me understand. Because y'all motherfuckers must be a whole bunch of out here, and y'all just completely understand what people are thinking, how they feeling. Maybe y'all can, you know what I'm saying, measure people's, you know, level of fear, you know what I mean, and how they feel about certain shit. And I just don't know. I'm not playing that whole game. You know what I mean? Let the facts of the situation be dictated solely by that, and not by how you feel about some shit. You know what I'm saying? Realistically, when it comes to emotional spills, that's you even coming from a misogynist point, so I don't want that to, that's usually things females do. But when it comes to men, we supposed to logically take 1 + 1 and let that equate to the 2. Nothing more. If anybody's doing anything outside of that, bro, like that shit is all gas, bro. And like people stop gaslighting situations, because one thing I know about Dillian White and his record, it definitely is the second best in the heavyweight division behind Anthony Joshua, and the dude has never pulled out thing in his life. The only thing that dude's ever pulled out is a brand new car out his fucking driveway. You know what I'm saying? So at the end, I don't even see how anybody can jump out of there and have the audacity to call this man scared. Why would this man pull out or be wanting to pull out if this dude has been fighting for something for the past 4 years? And if he's still in arbitration, rightfully so. This dude has been waiting for 4 years, and he's been getting juggled, you know what I'm saying, and been getting mind fucked by a freaking crooked organization, a crooked sanctioning body. Let's not forget that. So you saying let's not sit up there and let's not blur lines with bullshit, man. Let's just stick to what the facts really are. And I'm not going to sit up here and say this dude is scared. If anything, we would have more grounds to say if anybody is scared. Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury's had so many opportunities to fight this individual, called for it, wanted to fight. Fights never come to fruition from the time where he even spoke out of his mouth that he wanted to fight Dillian White for the diamond. When Dillian White accepted, what did he do? Absolutely nothing. He didn't want to do it. Just like this whole situation with supposedly Anthony Joshua slowed down, you know, disputed and all that stuff, and we got easiest climbers, you know what I'm saying? Everybody else sitting up there saying clearly it was some Fury. Just like when it came down for, you know, Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury to take place. What happened with that situation? A day before, when he said he just got off the phone with the king of Saudi, the next day arbitration come out, that situation doesn't take place. If history shows anything, we know one thing for a fact. You can't believe shit Tyson Fury's mouth. So if anybody is going off anything Tyson Fury is saying or anything outside of that, man, like give it a rest. Like, yo, box fans are like, yo, like really like emotionally sick, bro. Like it's getting out of control. And I'm just like, I'm at the point where it's just like when it comes to Reaper Gang Radio, I'm sticking whatever the facts are on the situation, nothing more. When I report the shit, I report the facts, nothing more. And we're going to leave it to that, nothing else. But shout out to everybody. I hope everybody is good. But like, yo, let's get beyond that shit. Like, for real. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I really do. You know, I feel like this dude has just been getting like, he been getting lame bashed for a minute, man. Like, lame dudes just been bashing this guy. And like, the fact of the matter is, like, I've seen nothing but heart from the individual. And I'm not going to let anybody take that away from that man. Because if the facts of anybody, if the facts show that Dillian White's traveled the hardest road to get somewhere that people should have, wow, like look at the situation right now with all of these other heavyweights and all of these other unified, former unified champions, these other world champions. Like, yo, they dude that don't even have nobody notable on his freaking resume, unless you're considering Rydell Booker or Kevin Smith freaking notable. Everybody's ducking Philip Hergovich on an IBF eliminator right now, and a lot of these dudes don't even have no options. And you know, when you look at and like, look at what Dillian White has done, and everybody's sitting up here acting like this dude don't got no heart. Are you kidding me? Like, that's one right now. Like, man, cut the crap, bro. Like, it's freaking crazy to me. Fury too big, strong, and fast. That might be so, but I mean, Otto Wallen didn't have no problem catching him and putting hands on him, putting a big pussy over top of his eyelids. So I mean, I'm just saying, if Fury too big, too strong, and too fast, I mean, he must be really that fast when you uppercutting yourself in the face. You know what I'm saying? When you get knocked your ass by Seth Cunningham, you know, when all was putting pressure on you and got you on your back foot in the corner on a, you know what I'm saying, a consistent basis throughout the evening of a fight, you know, when like, too strong, too fast, right? You know what I mean? Like, look, at the end of the day, everybody got their opinion on what they feel as though would have happened or whatever, but the only thing that's going to dictate that is what take place in the ring. That's what I'm waiting for. We all can believe whatever we think is going to happen, but all of y'all think just Dillian White just going to be some pushover and he just go in there and just flash on him. I don't think that's going to be the case because Tyson Fury has not been as fast and has not been as nimble as he's been in a very long time. He's carrying a lot more weight, and he has not been moving as fast as he usually moves with that extra weight on him now. And one thing I know about Dillian White gonna go out there, he gonna punch the shit out you. And White, if Otto Walling can touch him, best believe Dillian White can touch him. So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Let's not act like, and there's always been this whole preconceived notion that, Dillian White never stood a chance because nobody favors him, so nobody ever even gave this dude the respect to even want to see him in the ring, right or wrong, or done right or wrong. So, I just feel like people are already just going, acting like this man don't stand a chance in that fight, like he's not a top 5 heavyweight, like his resume don't speak for itself, and which it really does. You know what I'm saying? When everybody was giving Noski the nod, like he was the champion at one time, and freaking Robert Helenius went in and stomped his ass, and Dillian White stomped his ass. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying, Tyson Fury's Adam Kalinowski, but we got to be careful how, we just throw our opinions out there, how we feel about certain things without having, clear lenses on and how we really, and not looking at it from both sides, you know what I'm saying? Like, when nobody believed me when I said that Tyson Fury was going to stop Deontay Wilder and Wilder Fury 2, and then February 22nd, that motherfucker got stopped. So all I'm saying is you never know until you know. The media attack you, so that you go run into the media, set the story straight. The media depend on people with a story, and public figures depend on the media. That's their business model. Absolutely. And one thing about the media right now, Martin Ramos, one thing about the media right now is, man, they don't give a fuck. They're gonna put out any fluff piece that Bob out there, anybody else. Frank Warren is a known liar. We can go back to the whole 50 million with the Joshua situation and Deontay Wilder, when we know damn was on Boxing Social talking about they wanted to offer 50 million to host that fight on BT Sports. We know Anthony Joshua had a contract with Sky. So what the hell was he talking about? He put his own foot in his mouth. So I ain't gonna believe no goddamn Bob Arum, and I damn sure ain't believing no Frank Warren when anything. Like I said, we need to let history dictate, or the future, the future, whatever the future history is gonna be. We need to let that shit dictate itself. Because boxing, we jump the gun and shit don't even happen. You know what I'm saying? And then, we think shit is going on, really going on. This is not the shit that we used to think it was. So, it really makes more sense for us to just kind of like reserve opinions and let things play out. But, of course, it's barbershop conversation in a lot of sense to where, we feel certain people are going to win. We feel certain people are going to do certain things. So that's absolutely normal. So people are going to have a pick. Already going, they have their own ideology on how they want to bet on certain shit and all of that, and that's cool. But as far as the politics and as far as calling another individual scared when he ain't never been any of those things, like, we just gotta chill on that type shit. Dude, stay smirching White and Joshua's reputation. Absolutely. It's crazy to me how they said, when Joshua won, when they wanted Joshua to take the step aside money, everybody was calling him a bitch for that. And then when Joshua wanted to take the fight, they want to blame, they want to shit on him for that. It's like, you damned if you do, if you Anthony Joshua, you damned if you don't. You damned if you do, if you Dillian White, you damned if you don't. Like, I don't know what it is, all I know is that it's been a consistent level of hate on one side, and it's all gone to that man's side. I don't know. When you at the top for so long, all people want to do is knock you off, and they don't care how they do it, whether it's the right way or the wrong way. They know that type of mental shit is not going to work. You know what I mean? So that's all they can do is sit up there and chat like a bunch of bitches. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, let your fighter go in the ring and prove all of that shit they're talking about. All of that, he the best in the world shit, all of that, like, yo, because if any, like, yo, Tyson Fury whole rise right now is kind of cupcake to me, because if you really want to look at it, this dude is the only fucking heavyweight fighter who sat on his ass, got popped for drugs, nandrolone, all types of, what was it, Klimbo? Was it Klimbo or nandrolone? I think it was Klimbo. I might be tripping. But he the only dude that done popped for so much shit, still running around talking about he a lineal champion, fucking fights Francisco Payanetta, it's Tom Schwartz, gets stunned on by Otto Wallen for a significant period of time, and all of that shit, fights a fucking guy who we considered a bum for the longest time for not fighting any top competition, and then he beats him, and then everybody calls this man the #1 heavyweight in the world and gives him a Ring Magazine title, and that shit is supposed to be more prestigious than everything except all 4 of the sanctioning bodies. So, like, come on, man. Like, this shit is weird, dude. It's really weird. The answers have all been answered at heavyweight. What? All the answers have not been answered at heavyweight. How can you say that? How can you say that? Because Tyson Fury beat who? Because Tyson Fury beat who? Deontay Wilder? All the shit has been answered? Like, Alexander, he ain't got a hold of Alexander Usyk yet. Alexander Usyk is the #1 pound fighter in the world. So how have all of the answers, how have they been answered when all of these individuals have not fought each other? And it's like proven, like, I don't care if, like, yo, one person lose. That don't mean that that person better than him. He hasn't fought that man. He ain't even fought the type of talent that man has fought. They share the same fighter underneath their belt. And Tyson Fury put on the most boring fight in the world with that man and then wouldn't even rematch him. He was so scared of going into the rematch that this motherfucker got fat. Got fat. Left the game. Came back when a soft touch fighter was holding the title in that direction. Had the opportunity to fight Anthony Joshua. When Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn set aside Wembley for April 12th date back in 2018. Did he take that fight? No, he didn't take that fight. Did the so-called boogeyman Luis Ortiz take that fight? No, he didn't take that fight. What did Big Pharma Miller do? Big Pharma Miller got on every fucking drug, CS, GNC, and every backdoor freaking pharmacist that Lance Armstrong ever used in his entire Tour de France career to even fight that man. So that just shows you the level of fear there. Yo, Anthony Joshua, only one that's going up there testing the Dillian Whites, testing the Dillian Whites of the world, the Andy Ruizes of the world, who tested the goddamn Alexander Usyk of the world. You know what I'm saying? Who fought Vlad and all of that shit. None of these other niggas have even done nothing like that. So for y'all to sit up there and act like all have been answered, y'all bugging. You straight bugging. And you can't tell me that, man, that shit is fluff, man. Whatever, yo. Whatever, yo. AJ is a diva. Why? Okay, so if you saying why one trick pony, then you admitting that Tyson Fury ain't who he says he is, then, right? So think about the shit you say out your mouth before you say the shit, because you sound like a clown right now. You gotta admit, drop the ball on him. He might have hurt White career. All I'm saying is this: if you in business and you got the biggest fighter in the world, and you got Dillian White there too, who you gonna put more? Who comes first? Who comes first to the business? The guy that sells out, not the guy that can move a whole stadium, or the guy that can move 18,000? I mean, Eddie Hearn, they done went in arbitration with this man. They done sued the WBC. This ain't the first time they sued and backed up off of it. This ain't the first time they put pressure on the WBC and backed off of it. I mean, shit. Ask yourself this. If Dillian White would be a top rank of PBC, do you think Dillian White would have the same career and the same type of emotional value that he has right now? I don't fucking think so. I don't think so. So I don't see how anybody can say he dropped the ball on his career. You know, and quite frankly, Dillian White had the opportunity. He didn't take the fight. So I'm not going to sit up there and say he didn't have an opportunity to fight for unified titles when Big Baby Miller didn't pull out, because he absolutely did. How can anybody sit up here and say that Eddie Hearn fucked off his career? when in all actuality, Eddie Hearn probably goes to bat and he's probably more in the public's eye and with an honest depiction of what's going on with people's career and what other individuals are doing, while the other promoters are just simply bashing him because the competition over there is thick. You got 3 fucking promoters bashing one. 3 bashing one. And why is that? Are they bashing him because he's the weakest promoter on the block, or because his movement might consistently be the strongest on the block? For every extra round Eddie gave to White, he had to give Fury 4. Would you waste $20 million on Fury just to boast? My bid got Dylan double. What Fury? These facts. Benny Durant, salute. Hey, how's it going to? And salute, bro. Salute to Reaper gang in the chat. Salute to you too, brother. Hope everything is well with you. Said Fury deserves more. He just gave us one of the best trilogies in heavyweight history. You're smoking crack. You're smoking crack. Anybody can go out there and fight one of the biggest fucking bums in boxing, who gets knocked on his ass by fucking Harold Stonias in his career, goes fucking life or death with Johan Duaparts and shit like that, and go out there and make a fucking spectacle look good. As a matter of fact, Fury shouldn't need to touch the canvas twice. So it's all the drama in that series that made it what it was. I don't consider that one of the best fucking trilogies in heavyweight fucking history. You out your fucking mind? Like, are you kidding me? Like, yo, when you think of heavyweight dominance and prominence, you don't think of the weakest fucking fighter in fucking boxing and one of the most sidestepping fucking heavyweight fighters in fucking boxing, who strategically comes back and picks up belts based on strategy, not motherfucking walking down, not holding that shit. Has fucking Tyson Fury ever fought a mandatory in his career? Can you answer that? Has he ever fought a mandatory? Has he defended his titles? He ain't never fought a mandatory or defended his titles. You over here like gassing this guy. You gassing him. And I'll be the first one to admit, based off what I saw from Alexander Usyk and Anthony Joshua, I said Tyson Fury had the best chance to beat him, but that's based off of the weight and how he leaned his weight on individuals when he doesn't necessarily use anything else. And the fact that Anthony Joshua wasn't the big heavy in the ring. Anthony Joshua fought like a small guy. So that's the reason why I lean Tyson Fury as being one of the better heavyweights. But he ain't even fought Alexander Usyk. Y'all giving this dude credit that he ain't do. Alexander Usyk, the only nigga who cleaned out cruiserweight and ran up the heavyweight unified fucking titles on some Evander Holyfield shit. And as far as I know, he didn't need the pharmacy to do it. So if anything, dismiss that Tyson Fury shit from your mouth and talk that Usyk shit. I'm motherfucking crazy. And how can you sit up there and say Fury deserves more? See, this is the problem with people who talk and they do no fucking research on what's going on. How many tickets did Tyson Fury move on heavyweight soil? I mean on American soil. Better yet, I tell you, this motherfucker sold 3,000 fucking tickets when he fought fucking, he sold 5,000 tickets when he fought Tom Schwartz. He sold 3,500 tickets when he fought Otto Wallen. And the rest of them shits had to be comped, and they flooded everybody in on some pro bono shit just so they could make the arena look full. So they could make the arena look full. When he fought Deontay Wilder the first time, where'd they fight? The Staples Center in LA the first time, right? When they fought there the first time, they couldn't pack it out. They only sold 16,000 seats in a 20,000 seated arena, 16 to 18,000 seats. The fucking first fight only did roughly 350,000 on pay-per-view. The second fight, it had a record-breaking gate since Lennox Lewis versus Mike Tyson, but heavyweight boxing hasn't had a bout like since probably Lennox Lewis versus Mike Tyson. But the pay-per-view did trash. It didn't even do the million pay-per-view buys that it was supposed to do. But you guys like going off of Bob Arum and Frank Warren and shit like that. Well, really, that shit only did 750K. So both sides of the promotion didn't even break even. The third fight did significantly less than that. So there was no success in the pay-per-view. But you guys are heralding this shit. The greatest motherfucking one of the greatest heavyweight events. The shit didn't even have no juice. No clout. The only clout that it has is the shit that Hot Air is giving it right now. And it kind of stinks. I'm just saying. Joe Joyce going to fight Trevor Bryan if the deal get done. Joe Joyce will whip Trevor Bryan's ass the slow way. Dillian White might whip his ass. How about that? Dillian White might knock him the fuck out. You forgetting this dude got knocked on his ass in the second round and almost got sparked out by a cruiserweight. You forgetting a very fucking green heavyweight came over from Sweden with Joey Gamache, as great as Joey Gamache is, and motherfucking put that work on the boy. So don't act like Dillian White can't go in here and touch this dude, because to be perfectly honest, the fuck does Tyson Fury got on his record that you can give him credit for? Other than Vladimir Klitschko and Derek Chisora, who was unbeaten at the time. Other than that, what the fuck did he do? Other than fucking take drugs to fight Christian fucking Hammer. Know yourself or know the sport. Like, you're like, dog, you ain't talking to a nigga that don't know boxing, bruh. Usyk and Tyson Fury, the only thing he isn't is a natural heavyweight. That's why I said if Tyson Fury beat him, he would beat him based off of the size. He's based off of the size and how he just leans his weight on people and just like you know what I'm saying? Lean his weight on them, tire him out, and then gas him, and then knock him out. But it's a known fact that Tyson Fury doesn't hit the hardest in the heavyweight division. That's a fact. Now, all I can say, the only thing that you could really say about Tyson Fury is the motherfucker talking and don't back the shit up. Now, when it comes to the big show, does he show up? Yeah, but it was only one big show. And that was Vladimir Klitschko. And that shit was boring as fuck. And I'm not here to hate on nobody or nothing. But I honestly and still feel like to this day, if Vladimir Klitschko would have let his hands go, the outcome of that fight would have been mad different. That's why I don't think he took the fight the second time. The Fury fight the same way and doing with Sugar Hill, plus Tyson coming off a tough fight and had an elbow story. I think White stands a very good chance stylistically. Man, look, if you run down the list of everybody Dillian White has fought, Dillian White is more primed and ready to go in the fight with Tyson Fury than Tyson Fury is more primed and ready to go in the fight with Dillian White. The only thing that people probably will measure more, you know what I'm saying, the one thing about Dillian White, it just don't look sexy when he do shit. But everybody's supposed to be sexy, and it isn't going to be the most stylistically proficient shit. Everybody don't operate the same way. Like, Dillian White don't get credit for nothing that he does in the ring. And that shit is kind of like spooky to me for real. I'm like, yo, like this dude hits hard as fuck. You know what I'm saying? You can see underneath Xavier Miller that, you know what I'm saying, he's getting a little bit more. His jab is a lot better. You know, he's moving around the ring a lot better. You know what I'm saying? And he's definitely got thump in his gloves. And he's already got the proper mentality when it comes to fighting Tyson Fury. He already, like, for real, he's already said it out his mouth. The one thing I feel like he needs to do if he wants to beat a Tyson Fury. Like, bro, he's not worried about going in there and punching him in his head. Like, yo, hit what's open. You got 6'9", you got 6'9", damn near 6'10" of body. Go out there and expose and abuse all of that shit. And for real, if Dillian White touched that man in the body enough, and if Tyson Fury think that he's going to be able to just lean his weight on him when other things aren't working for him, and that motherfucking pop that he supposedly has that we know that he doesn't have, doesn't sting motherfucking Dillian White, he go in there and try to lean that weight on Dillian White if he want to. That motherfucker's going to throw his ass straight to the floor. I promise you that. He ain't going to be able to lean on that man like that. Well, Alexander Usyk, that's different. Different styles, you know what I'm saying, for different fighters, for different matchups. For this matchup, he's not going to be able to do that, guy. Dillian White is much stronger than Tyson Fury. I put my life on it. And he got thunder behind the gloves. So if anybody thinks that this dude is just going to go in here and you just going to push him over, you crazy. It's a reason why this man is going his whole career avoiding fighting this guy, bro. Like, yo, narratives push and fans make excuses for that shit. Well, really, all it is cowardice to me. Because if you really beat it, you ain't gonna hesitate to fight him. And motherfuckers can't tell me it didn't make no sense. So what? Tom Schwartz, Otto Wallin, Francisco Payanetta, Sefer Safari, that shit made more sense than ever fighting a Dillian White, a guy who can sell out the O2, a guy who been making $4 million since when? About 2017? Like, give me a fucking break. Like, those dudes don't make more sense than fighting a Dillian White, a top 5 fucking heavyweight who's proven that. Tyson Fury ain't proven he the best in the world. They just gave him that shit. They gave him that shit. So let's not get it fucked up here. That's a fact. Scared of the moves they making. He the new blood in the old man game. That's the thing. And these niggas is going to be kicking the bucket, having turkey gizzard ass necks and shit like that. And Eddie Hearn's still going to be moving around and shaking so they can have all of this little senile, you know what I'm saying, dementia and all of this fucking wild talking and all of that stuff they doing. But they can't move around and they can't move and shake like him. It's different. And that's the problem. They don't like the fact that, you know what I'm saying, he already comes from greatness with Barry Hearn. Hearn just jumped off the block and started doing this shit. This man been watching his daddy move since a fucking toddler. And who did Frank Warren used to do a lot of business with? His motherfucking daddy. And his daddy pulled back comfortably, something that Bob Arum doesn't have. He have a successor to where he can kick his feet up and watch his guys just move. Barry Hearn had that. He gave his son, you know what I'm saying? He gave his son the game early because he seen how he could move in it. I don't hate on nobody's success, man, and how they moving around, but I recognize when a person is a threat and people really perceive that threat in a way in which they speak. Like, it lets you know that he's a problem. The way people have moved around Dillian White consistently, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, it lets you know that he's a motherfucking problem. So if you think that Dillian White just gonna get in this ring and he gonna get washed, and Tyson Fury, like, shit has been solved. Like, yo, that's the problem with boxing, bro. And I'm stuck on this shit because it really blows me that people think that there's already a definitive claim for heavyweight fucking crown. It's not. It's not. Nobody has proved it yet. If anybody, Usyk proved it more by fighting the proven guy. You know what I'm saying? But there's still other people that need to be beat. A loss doesn't erase you from the heavyweight scene. It doesn't. And a lot of these dudes only have undefeated records because they not taking the roughest road travel. They would rather travel smooth pavement than a dirt road filled with potholes, man. That's a fact. John B. Poetic, salute. That wasn't the best trilogy or one of the best in history of the sport. Some motherfuckers have no historical knowledge, man. That's what I'm saying, dude. And that's why, like, I really don't give that shit no air, bro. Like, for real. That's a fact. Bo Holyfield won is one of my favorite heavyweight fights. That's a fact. And that's a real war against two guys who really stood at the top of the heavyweight fucking division. Stood there. Proved it. You know what I'm saying? Even though Bo was getting fucked up consistently by Goulada and shit, and Goulada took him off out of victories, but you know what I'm saying, Riddick Bowe was icing motherfuckers, just like he iced Evander Holyfield. Reaching weight might give Fury an edge against Usyk, but that's an unanswered question until it's been answered. Thing, man, my thing is, I just want people to understand, like, yo, you cannot just go ahead and just give people give people such like a prestigious title of greatness, like the heavyweight crown and the undisputed heavyweight crown is supposed to be everything that's held dear in boxing, you know, and just like the undisputed crown, period. Like, nobody is. So until somebody has claimed it, we can't give them that shit. And people need to stop giving people shit when they have not fought each other. Like, yo, Anthony Joshua could go out there, he could have fought Andy Ruiz and the other guys that he's fought, but he still ain't fought Tyson Fury or whoever. So that shit don't necessarily define him as the greatest heavyweight, even though he's put in more work. So you give him more credit based off the body of work and more of the titles that he round up. You know, Tyson Fury goes and fights Deontay Wilder, and the world just goes crazy and praises him. But I remember before that, motherfuckers were shitting on Tyson Fury and nobody liked him. Now people got all of this praise for Tyson Fury. This is why the game is so fucked up. Like, people are so quick to lend so much credibility to people who haven't even fucking dogged a mile in the marathon yet. Marathon ain't even getting the got ran yet. The shit just getting started. We finally getting some clarity because the fucking drain has been so clogged up with Skitty's fucking inactivity and wanting to fight bum after bum after bum and dodging top ops. Like, if shit moved the way it was supposed to move and people fought who they were supposed to fight, we would have a lot more of these questions answered. Honestly, it shouldn't have took this fucking long. It really shouldn't have. But cowardice is the reason why this shit is taking so long. Fighting from the finger to that arbitration disorder, and I don't blame him one bit, boss. Boss Claw really puts pressure on Warren Arum and the WBC to sort it out as well. As we all know that they're in bed together. Absolutely, and I don't blame him for doing that. And as a person, and like I said earlier, Fish, and salute to you, like, as a person who sit around getting fucked over for an entirety of 4 years, how can anybody hold that against that man, have the nerve to call him a coward? And then when, you know what I'm saying, I ask people, who has a better resume than Dillian White, other Joshua, can't nobody give me a fucking a definitive answer, because there is nobody who has a better resume than them in the heavyweight division. There isn't. So how can people call him? Dillian White against Fury will be a hard road to hoe for Fury because Dillian White has a low center of gravity compared to Fury and will seek Fury's skull and work his guts till they get close. And those are the points that I'm making, man. And I don't see how people just back and look on, you know, recent events in boxing and show that Fury can easily be touched. Wilder's wild fucking, like, Wilder is unskilled, very wild, untamed. He's like a fucking wild bronco. Like, he's just untamed. He does absolutely nothing right, and he manages to put hands on fucking Tyson Fury, a guy who's supposed to have this superior intellect, be a superior, and be able to see things coming from a mile away. Just like Otto Wallen was able to do it, just like Steve Cunningham was able to do it, just like a lot of people were able to do it. So I'm not going to disrespect Dillian White and act like he can't do it, because he can do it. And honestly, I'm betting a lot of money on him that he quite possibly will do it. Like, for real, when Tyson Fury fight Dillian White, it'll tell me a lot about him if he fights him. If he fights him, because honestly, I don't think he really wants to fight him. Mauricio Sulaimán has made this so easy for this guy. Like, they've went out their way to protect this individual in the same way that they protect Dillian White, in the same way they're protecting their own financial interests. Don't want all of the power to swing Matchroom's way. Because what does that say? Just like the headlines are fucking trying to sit shit on the fight right now, acting like they need so much American skin in the game for this fight to make fucking sense. No, they don't. Motherfucking American boxing has been the fucking laughing stock division for some time now. For some time now. People that act like everything runs through American boxing, it just shows the narratives match up with the moves that they're making. And I just, for one, don't rock with it. I'm an American and I'm telling you this. And I know damn well I ain't delusional. These motherfuckers don't want to see a person win. Salute, Arsenal. They don't want to see a person win who already, you know what I'm saying, is holding the majority of the cause. And for real, if Eddie and Anthony Joshua beat Usyk, man, and they got Tyson Fury on the menu, man, the future is looking really bright for Matchroom. Bob Him has nothing but a pine suit and a polished-looking lump and a carved marble in his rapidly. In his rapidly approaching future, no legacy at all. Mohamed Ferry getting exposed if they eventually sort this fight out. And I, for one, can't wait. Absolutely, man. Look, I'm just happy about the fight. I really can't wait for the fight to happen. I truly want this fight to take place. I feel like, you know, honestly, there's a lot of momentum in boxing right now that could really be that's really positive and really can position boxing to really gain some traction as far as with casual fans and can move boxing respectfully back in a position where people can actually have some dignity about the shit. Cause like right now, I have not been satisfied with boxing for a long time. But when I look down the line and I see, okay, Oscar Valdez and Shakur Stevenson could possibly be fighting. I know, Chris Colbert is about to fight for the official WBA title, and we got shit. What else coming up? We know we got Usyk and Joshua coming up. And then Tyson Fury, Dillian White supposed to take place. That's a lot. And hold on, at the end of February, we got freaking Brian Castano and Jamel Charlo. So there's a lot of great shit happening in boxing right now. But it can only be considered until it take place. And that's why I want all of this stuff to work out. Because, man, that's a lot of great material that I, for one, would be inspired to make for you guys, and boxing is not putting me in a really inspirational place, and I'm bummed out about that shit. Because, like, time and time again, I've seen, I've watched sanctioning bodies get in the way of progress. I've watched sanctioning bodies operating one way for other individuals and not operating that way for other people. Freaking just completely rankings, not adhere to, to their whole, clean boxing program. And it's just despicable, man. Like, so I'm just saying, man, like, it's just really funny how the sport just, like, boxing is it's a crooked game, man. It's an extremely crooked game. He's got a good head on his shoulders, man. Ever since he's gotten that one incident in Florida when he got in that street fight at like a little ice cream stand or something like that, he beat up some freaking girl's boyfriend. He's been walking right ever since, and I'm glad he's with Andre Ward. One thing I can say about Andre Ward is going to keep your mind focused on what it needs to be focused on, and that's boxing. And as a fighter, you should solely focus on boxing and nothing else because, you don't really an extended lifespan in the sport. You've got probably about, most people are lucky if they get 6 years of greatness. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you've got to take advantage of every opportunity you have and make the most of it and don't fumble the play. And when those opportunities come knocking, you have to take advantage of it. And if you do so, great things will happen for you. It's not hard. Everybody wants a certain type of success out of the sport. It seems like a lot of people be given things instead of working for it. Like, this Philip Hergovich shit is so funny to me, dude. Like, it really smokes out how many cowards are in the heavyweight, and those are the people that I really want to see, like, excommunicado from the sport, like, for real. All of these so-called tough guys, man, motherfuckers are shook of the bronze medalists. They just shook of that Croatian kid, man. Not really a kid. He's definitely a grown man. Motherfuckers are shook. You got Zerto running around out acting like he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Just absolute, just craziness. Yeah. I mean, exactly. He was only like shit, Fish. I think Shakur was only like 18 at the time, I think, when that shit took place. He was real young. Was nowhere close to being a world champion. I don't even think he had like 5 fights under his belt at that time. Like shit's gonna happen. You start getting in a position where, you're a blue chip fighter, you went to the Olympics, you got the fast track to greatness, you got all goods and stuff like that, man. It's easy to get caught up in the bright lights of the city, man. Like, every kid has, you know what I'm saying? Floyd's had his problem. Shit, there's not one fighter who hasn't had some form of issue, but that comes with being human. But as being human and take the hue out of it and just being a man, we have to, learn from our mistakes. And you don't learn from your mistakes unless you fall down, get some bruises, man, and you got to take some scratches. Life's going to present its bruises and you're going to get your scars. But it's how you heal from them and what you do after the fact so you can make sure you don't injure yourself in the same way. Like, just don't just don't plight yourself. Just continue, you know, to grow and learn from your mistakes, and you can continue to ascend and get better and become greater. And you know, and more importantly, you know, boxing. More important. My thing is, you know, what I'm saying, I'm more focused on people being better human beings than being great fighters. You know, boxing don't really have, like, a lot of people don't even consider themselves ambassadors or role models for sports anymore, and that's a big problem for me. People should want to consider themselves role models, because regardless of whether they want to see it, it's a lot of kids that look up to them, want to do what they do. And if those kids are looking up to you and they see you doing all of the wild shit in the world, or moving like the Errol Spencers and the Javante Tank Davis and things of that nature, what are we going to produce? We're going to produce a bunch of Tank Davis and you know, individuals like that, and Errol Spencers and other guys, Robert Easters and Adrian Broners. And we don't need those type of individuals. Great talented guys, but just, you know, never just screwed, just screws are fucking loose up there. Cogs are missing. And, you know, just kids are always watching, man. And you don't want kids to, you know what I'm saying, to repeat your mistakes, man. Because at the end of the day, boxing was reserved for the underdog. A lot of these kids come from broken families, broken homes, and things of that nature, man. And, you know, sports, music, you know, art and all of those things, you know, raise certain individuals, and they try to use that as fuel and gas to get to where they need to go. So I just think that people need to be more mindful of the power that they wield and how they wield it. Javi, salute. What's going on, my bro? Expect to get yourself into a killer mindset to earn a living. Absolutely, man. And it's not an easy thing to do, man. Boxing is a tough, it's a hard pill to swallow for anybody that walks in that light. That's why, you know, I don't necessarily like to shit on fighters. I definitely speak my mind on situations as they occur and how people move within the sport. Like, all I'm saying is, you know, like, just be about what you say you're about. Because honestly, you know what I'm saying, the one thing that never lies is, you know, the action. You know, when we see people in action, when they words and the action don't add up, you know, that's when we can tell. You know, because we got a big problem in boxing right now where everybody can talk and they don't have to, you know, show and prove, and they get away with that. And have let away that, you know what I'm saying? Like, the media have let them get away with that. Like, look, I'm not going to sell my, like, I had a very, very long talk with a very, very prominent individual that worked with one of these major sports broadcasting network, that I'm very very, very, very cool with. And he told me personally, it's like, yo, I had to get away from this. Like, I had to get away from the journalism aspect. It was to a point to where he was compromising. He felt like he probably was compromising his integrity based on, you know, the type of things that were going on in the boxing world. And it's like, when you know you're toeing the fence and you're lying to freaking probably millions of people, this shit is being broadcast around the world, and you know you're not speaking the truth, or you're not speaking how you really feel from your gut, that shit bothers you, man. So it's just like, yo, like, people don't understand, like, when you tell the truth, you get results from that. Like, and especially, like, pundits have to understand the power that they have in the sport, because that was one of the major things that held boxers accountable to getting in the ring and fighting the type of opposition that they were supposed to fight. And the moment that got stripped from the sport and everybody got bought and people started choosing sides, whether it was BBC or Top Rank or whoever they operating with, that's when we started seeing a very major downslide in the competition. And it's truly unfortunate. I wish we could say that, you know, it wasn't like that. Yeah. The truth in the generation of fighters fucking around and not living the life. Bernard Hopkins lived like a Shaolin monk for the sake of the sport. No party slags and like Broner and David. And the thing about Bernard Hopkins, he had to go through it. And see, it's only a select few individuals that know what it feel like. And God forbid, I hope nobody has to go through the prison system ever in life. But it takes certain type of individuals who have to go through prison, sit down, and come out and not saying that makes you, you know what I'm saying, a model citizen when it comes to society, because it doesn't. It's nothing but gladiator school. It actually makes you a better fucking, it makes you better at whatever your charges were and avoiding getting caught. But there are certain people behind those walls, I'm saying, like you got the Muslims and other individuals and old guys who sit down, done a lot of reading, who cared about their children and things of that nature, like Bernard Hopkins, who actually took in those teachings and came out and walked right, and actually used his hands to get himself out of a poverty situation, and look at him now. So it just shows that anybody can make a mistake, but it's how you capitalize on your mistakes and how, you know what I'm saying, you settle in as far as discipline that is going to dictate where you go, you know. And I think that that's what a lot of these fighters lack. It's like somebody just like open doors. It's kind of like, you know, when we were kids growing up, how you could leave your doors unlocked and everybody, you know, was neighbors and everybody was cool, and you could stay out even when the street lights was on and all of that, and kids could play the endless hours of the night. You can't do that anymore. But it's like today, somebody just decided that, you know, it's like back in the day, we could just open the doors, we could open the front door to the boxing world and just let these kids just run around, you know what I'm saying, like chickens with their head off and do whatever the hell they want. And all of these fuckers is coming back with a bunch of charges, strippers, and drug habits. Not to laugh at this shit, but it's true. It's fucking true. You know, these dudes just running around like they have no structure, no discipline. And the moment they touch a little bit of that fame is a monster that is highly untamable. You have to know that, look, this is a tool. I'm going to use this to propel my family into a better position and pull away from it. You don't get caught up in all of the shit, because, look, the people don't give a fuck about you when you're starving. The people don't give a fuck about you when you're locked up. As a matter of fact, they're going to show you how much they don't give a fuck about you when they chastise you all over the media. Because one thing that people do, like, people love seeing cocky individuals get made an example out of. And there's nothing wrong and confident. But when it comes to the fact that you just feel like, you know what I'm saying, you are just like fucking God, you have this God tier mentality, and you are God's gift to the sporting world, bro. People love to see you get humble. That's why we love, you know what I'm saying, Felix Trinidad, you know, Ale La Hoya, you know what I'm saying? Like, we love guys like that. Like, you know, that's why Manny Pacquiao was so beloved. Like, because it's just they humble, man. And they let the action dictate who they were. It was their work ethic that dictated how great they were. It wasn't the other way around. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, yo, they just came outside and just acting like they were the best, and they motherfuckers didn't have to prove that shit. Manny Pacquiao moved through fucking 8 divisions of goddamn greatness. You know, so I just think that, you know, once people, you know, understand that, you know, once the reporters of the sporting world understand that, look, stop the hand holding, because honestly, it's damaging your viewership as well. Because imagine how well the sport would do if these reporters held them accountable. I guarantee it'd be more eyes on it. Believe it or not, it'd be a lot more controversy coming out of the honest interpretations of the sport than just, you know what I'm saying, toeing the fence for, you know what I'm saying, like, for said interest, man. It's just garbage, man. But I gotta get out of here, man. My freaking phone is blowing up. I'm glad we could do this, man. I appreciate all of you guys who come through. Gotti, you know what I'm saying, you know you the bro. Peter Edwards, Joe Boxer, Vinny, Fish, Javi, and everybody, man. Band-Aid salute, Lisa, Arsenal. I hope all of y'all have a wonderful day, man. I hope all is well. As we always say at the end of the shit, cost you nothing. Pay a nigga no mind. It's the motherfucking boss. Until next time, peace.